it's a huge cultural thing. So, my background is 25 years in the Royal Air Force as air crew. I went through frontline squadrons operating about 2,500 hours. I was a flight instructor. I then went into trials, research and development, systems engineering, procurement. And, the Royal Air Force has got an aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. And if you listen, and there are examples of their debriefs that are available on YouTube. And people would just sit there and the skill, when you listen and watch those debriefs, there is no ego. They leave their name badges and their sort of identity, their person identity at the door. They go in and they are red 1 to 9. It's not John, Billy, whatever it is. It is the formation positions. And they will replay the video and the guys will self-debrief themselves. I'm a bit long, a bit fast, a bit late. And as the thing is talking, because that's how they get better. And if somebody in the formation, if the leader stands up and goes, yeah, that was great, and they don't talk about the mistakes they've made, they've blown it. Because there is this level of trust that says, I can put my hand up and say, I screwed up because of this, this, and this is how I'm going to address it. But if the rest of the formation knows that you screwed up and you don't say it, they will know that you've done it and you've just blown the trust that's there. So, it's about creating a learning culture within the team, within the organization, within your environment, your dive center, that says it doesn't matter how experienced you are. A, you're going to make mistakes, and B, you can always get better. And we have our own blind spots that stop us from getting better because we sit there and go, yeah, nothing has gone wrong, therefore it must be okay.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good, that's actually that statement right there. Nothing went wrong, so it's okay. And that leads into doing it again and again. And you might get away with it 10 times. And it's the 11th time you don't get away with it. That's when we have the problem. And if you don't recognize these things, when you don't sort of debrief accordingly, or you don't reflect on things, even if it's not as a team, and even if you don't, I finish a course and I reflect on how that course went. Is there something I could have done better? We've got to recognize what was good as well. Not everything's bad, and not everything's about sort of picking holes in it, but it's like what could have gone, what was the good, the bad, and the ugly, basically. And how can I do it? How would I do it differently if I was in XYZ scenario again? And it's a key skill, and it takes a particular person, as Andy said, that you've actually got to accept that first, that you are human. And
and that starts with the instructor development process, where the instructors should be taught about talking about things that didn't go well in their instructional setup, because now you and because they're in role models. So that bit where I was sort of joking and said people will look up to you, Andrew, because people will. You're in that role modeling position. And if you sit there as a debrief and you start off and you say, right, as a learning environment, this is about getting better. This is about you helping me get better and me helping you get better, because you as students can teach me something. So I'm going to set up the scenario that says, actually, here's something that I didn't quite get right on that dive. And that requires you to be quite reflective and say, how do I get better? Once I've set the scene that says, I'm not perfect and this is where I can get better, you create a massive learning environment for the rest of them, because now you can turn around and go, wow, my instructor makes mistakes. So if I finish this class, I'm still going to make mistakes too. And I can talk about those. And it's about creating that, not this piece that says, if you think I did something wrong, speak up. Because there's that authority gradient where the students are just, oh, hang on a minute, you're holding my certification card. And if I question what you're doing, you could withhold that card from me. And I'm going to waste a bunch of time and money, and I'm not going to get the card that I want. So there's a lot of stuff that is not covered in training courses that really could be done, and could be done quite easily. Technically, it would take a huge cultural shift for it to happen, though.